So I borrowed something from someone that comes from a place where I think every single person should really genuinely think about it, especially in these times. It comes from George W. Bush's speechwriter, Michael Gershon. I want to read it to you. We're going to read it together. Okay? Trigger warning for everything. This is our reality. No matter how they try to twist it, this is America at its core. Again, this comes from Michael Gershon, who was George W. Bush's speechwriter. I had fully intended to ignore President Trump's latest round of racially charged taunts against an African American elected official, an African American activist, and an African American journalist, and a whole city with a lot of African Americans in it. I had every intention of walking past Trump's latest outrages and writing about the self-destructive squabbling of the Democratic presidential field, which has chosen to shame former Vice President Joe Biden for the sin of being an electable moderate liberal. But I made the mistake of pulling James Cone's The Cross and the Lynching Tree off my shelf, a book designed to shatter convenient complacency. Cone recounts the case of a white mob in Valdosta, Georgia, in 1918 that lynched an innocent man named Haynes Turner. Turner's enraged wife, Mary, promised justice for the killers. The sheriff responded by arresting her and then turning her over to the mob, which included women and children. According to one source, Mary was stripped, hung upside down by the ankles, soaked in gasoline, and roasted to death. In the middle of this, a white man opened her swollen belly. In the midst of this torment, a white man opened her swollen belly with a hunting knife, and her infant fell to the ground and was stomped to death. God help us. It is hard to write the words. This evil, the evil of white supremacy, resulting in dehumanization, inhumanity, and murder, is the worst stain, the greatest crime of U.S. history. It is the thing that nearly broke the nation. It is the thing that proved generations of Christians to be vicious hypocrites. It is the thing that turned normal people into moral monsters capable of burning a grieving widow to death and killing her child. When the President of the United States plays with that fire or takes that beast out for a walk, it is not just another political event, not just a normal day in campaign 2020. It is a cause for shame. It is the violation of martyrs' graves. It is obscene graffiti on the Lincoln Memorial. It is, in the eyes of history, the betrayal, the re-betrayal of Haynes and Mary Turner and their child. And all of this is being done by an ignorant and arrogant narcissistic reviving racist tropes for political gain, indifference to the wreckage he is leaving, the wounds he is ripping open. Like I suspect many others, I am finding it hard to look at the resurgent racism as just one in a series of presidential offenses or another in a series of Republican errors. Racism is not just another wrong. The Antietam battlefield is not just another plot on the ground. The Edmund Pettus Bridge is not just another bridge. The balcony outside room 306 at the Lorraine Motel is not just another balcony. As U.S. history hollows some causes, it magnifies some crimes. What does all of this mean politically? It means that Trump's divisiveness is getting worse, not better. He makes racist comments, appeals to racist sentiments, and inflames racist passions. The rationalization that he's not, deep down in his heart, really a racist is meaningless. Trump's continued offenses mean that a large portion of his political base is energized by racist tropes and the language of white grievance. And it means, whatever their intent, that those who play down or excuse or try to walk past these offenses are enablers. Some political choices are not just stupid or crude. They represent the return of our country's cruelest, most dangerous passions. Such racism indicts Trump. Treating racism as a typical or minor matter indicts us. And again, I go back to the video I just made about why black folks are standing down. So are the Native and Indigenous community. They are standing down as well. And the reason for that is this. If America will not learn from its sins, why are we trying to save it? What good is America to the world if it does not learn from the mistakes that it makes and tries to do better? And that, I think, is where a lot of people within marginalized communities have hit our breaking point. We can't save this country. We can't. Because this country refuses to save itself. Every single time I hear a well-fed white person talk about something involving DEI or woke, I realize that it is an absolute lost cause to try to save this generation of Americans. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. Why do I say that? Because when you use letters like DEI, when you use words like woke, completely out of context, only for your own benefit, what you are basically saying in the strongest words possible, that you know what American history looks like, you just don't care. And a person who just doesn't care about the legacy of what America has already done and what it plans to do under Donald Trump, they're unsavable. They are absolutely 100% unsavable. Why would you even try? Black folks and Native and Indigenous folks have had to fight this the longest. Our Native brothers and sisters, they still don't get the recognition for the fight that they started when the boats got here. And they have been subjected to horrors. Killing the buffalo to starve out the native. Residential schools that they are still finding bodies behind to this day. You couple that with the second ugly sin of the enslavement of African people. Then you flash forward to today and watch as people call any conversation about this DEI, CRT, and woke. Hell, just the phrase Black Lives Matter sets off some of these people. And why? For what? Did you honestly think that you were going to be able to get away with just believing in America's greatness without actually having to deal with America's sins? Some of you actually did. Some of you actually did, and it is showing on a nearly daily basis. What is heartbreaking is how many people within marginalized communities also want to believe in that. What Michael Gershon said is absolutely true. Trump is a racist. There can be no doubt about this. None. Anybody still debating it is an idiot. But what does that say about us? Knowing that this man is the way he is, knowing that the programs and policies that he want to put in place come from a racist heart, and people still elected him. Knowing all of this, does that say that America is ready to finally once again deal with its issues? Or does it say once again America would like to practice amnesia? The fact that so many marginalized communities, so many people within marginalized communities thought that that man would be a very good choice for president, knowing the history that he's had, is heartbreaking. I want to give you guys hope. I genuinely do. I keep telling you to fight, fight, fight. But not for this generation. Fight for the next. Fight for the next 5. Fight against this so that our kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids down the line don't believe that this is what America is. Because as it stands right now, what it is right now, it's unsalvageable. Unsalvageable.